Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is 8:57 a.m. and you are watching Aurora Weather here on Good Morning, Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. It's Monday, the 29th of January. We're moving ahead, but not that quick. We have the temperatures that you guys need. Once again, this weather comes from the National Weather Service of Chicago, delivered to you here on Aurora Weather and Good Morning, Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast and second largest city's first daily weather report, respectively. As you can see, we have the temperatures and what to expect from today all the way into Friday. Okay. Now, another round of precipitation tonight and warmer than normal temperatures will stick around through the week. It has felt very good and very warm the past few days. No more of that crazy cold stuff when you go outside to throw out the trash before you call it a night. Just got on some sweatpants and maybe a t-shirt. You can do that. Today, 43 degrees for the daytime high, 37 degrees for the daytime low. Areas of fog mostly this morning. Now here in downtown Aurora, if you're on Broadway, you can see the fog is definitely creeping in. You can only see about a couple of blocks in each direction. Tonight, chance of rain. Woo! Hold on. No snow. That's rain. 36 degrees for the nighttime high, 33 degrees for the nighttime low tonight. Chance of rain is coming in late. Now that'll continue into tomorrow morning. 39 degrees for the daytime high, 36 degrees for the daytime low. In addition to that, there's a 40 to 60% chance of rain with a little bit of snow possible as well. So that's coming tomorrow in the daytime. Tomorrow night, 33 degrees for the nighttime high, 29 degrees for the nighttime low. An evening drizzle will bring us into Wednesday with a nice amount of sun on Wednesday. 44 degrees for the daytime high, 40 degrees for the daytime low on Wednesday. Now it's going to be mostly cloudy. That cloud cover, will take us into Wednesday night. 36 degrees for the nighttime high, 33 degrees for the nighttime low. Now, what do we notice in our night times? We'll come back and check that in the recap. As we get into Thursday, 50 degrees for the daytime high, 43 degrees for the daytime low. Mostly cloudy on Thursday with some potential for sun. Now, I'm reminded of my ethnicity and culture. When it gets 50 degrees like that, somebody's going to barbecue. 32 degrees for the nighttime high on Thursday night, 26 degrees for the nighttime low. Cloudy conditions Thursday night, no rain, no snow predicted. Going into Friday, 42 degrees for the daytime high, 36 degrees for the daytime low on Friday. Cloudy as well, a little bit of sun. The potential for that does exist on Friday as we get into Friday night. 30 degrees for the nighttime high, 26 degrees for the nighttime low. Cloudiness will continue on Friday night. Now, let's recap. Today, 43 degrees for the daytime high, 37 degrees for the daytime low. Mostly foggy conditions today. Tomorrow, 39 degrees for the daytime high, 36 degrees for the daytime low. Do not forget there is a 40 to 60% chance of rain and snow tomorrow. Wednesday, 44 degrees for the daytime high, 40 degrees for the daytime low on Wednesday, mostly cloudy, a little bit of sun. Thursday, 50 degrees for the daytime high, 43 degrees for the daytime low, mostly cloudy conditions as well. A little bit of sun will continue. Going into Friday, 42 degrees for the daytime high, 36 degrees for the daytime low on Friday, mostly cloudy conditions on Friday. That sun will remain, the possibility thereof, and we can only hope that it increases. Once again, this is your morning weather report here on Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. We have a fantastic show for you this morning, another double feature. And once again, we're at a brand new time from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Our first guest is Minerva Calatayud of the Women's Business Development Center, and our second guest is Brenda Rodgers, realtor and candidate for Kane County Recorder. Let's do it. Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is 8 or, oh my goodness gracious, it's 9:02. New time, 9:02 a.m. You are watching and listening to Good Morning, Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. Thank you guys for joining us. It's Monday, the 29th of January, the first month, and a brand new year is about to end. I feel motivated and I feel well this morning. We have a great show for you guys today. Our first guest is Minerva Calatayud of the Women's Business Development Center. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Thank you.
All right. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Starting of the week.
Absolutely. See, and this is that's the thing. That's why we do the Monday interviews, and that's the special part of it. You know, starting off the week with a new message, a new focus, and a new disposition. Right. We're going to be talking about the Rise Up, Start Your Childcare Business 6-week virtual business cohort as well. But there was also an event on Friday at the Women's Business Development Center. Tell us about that.
The event that happened last week,
yes.
You mean?
Yep.
Oh, it was a wonderful event. It was actually Saturday, and it was in partnership with the YWCA.
Okay.
They do an annual event. It's called the Business Savvy Saturday.
Okay.
And we presented emotional intelligence.
Oh.
And this was a great topic.
EI,
emotional intelligence and how to be an emotional intelligent leader.
Good.
So we had about 50 participants, and it was mainly for the childcare industry.
Good.
So this is an excellent. It's very important for people in any business, and even people that doesn't have business, that they understand their emotional intelligence. Right. And they work to strengthen that so they can find their superpowers.
Good. That's really good. Yeah, emotional intelligence is important. If you guys see any cool tips, or even there's quick online courses too that you guys can take on emotional intelligence. Some of them are from Prior University, so check them out. Prior Learning, rather, online. Really cool stuff. So we're going to be talking about the 6-week virtual business cohort at the Women's Business Development Centers every Thursday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And it starts February 8th and goes to March 14th. What are the benefits of this cohort for those who are interested in learning more about childcare?
Well, this one is we are focusing on people that are interested in starting a childcare center or a home daycare, but also people that already have a home daycare and or a center that have been in business less than 2 years. Mm-hmm. It's always good to learn how to do things better, right?
Absolutely. You can always do better. I love
that.
I love that. That's a fact.
So we go from what do you need, the basic foundation, what do you need to start a business in childcare, but we touch on what is the business concept that you want to have? So do you want to be a childcare that is focused on technologies and STEM, or do you want to be a childcare that is all about learning with games, or you want to be a childcare that is the place where the kids are going to be loved and cared, but that the parents doesn't need to worry about. So you need to decide what is the business concept of your business. And we start there. Then we teach them how to pitch their business. We teach them how to market the business, the basics of how to meet all the regulations that are necessary, how to hire employees, and of course, finances. We always have finances into the cohorts.
Absolutely. So the Women's Business Development Center, for those who are unfamiliar, and I don't know why you wouldn't be, they're always on our show and we always support what they do. The Women's Business Development Center has this 6-week virtual business cohort. I'll read a little bit from it for the moment. So gain business insight for your home or your center-based business. The WBDC, proud to present the Rise Up, a childcare business cohort tailored exclusively for childcare entrepreneurs. Good morning. For just joining us, it's 9:07 a.m. Our guest today is Minerva Calatayud of the Women's Business Development Center. And Good Morning Aurora is at a new time, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. I was going to make a post about it last week, but I got locked out of my Canva, so my bad, you guys. Javier Burgos, good morning. Kevin May, Tracy Duran is here. Good to see you. Norma Peterson as well. And Daniel Calderon, who will be doing the weather on the show very soon. And Maria, good to see you guys. Good to see you. Scratch that. All right. Now, I wonder, too, how many, and we've talked about this in some of our previous interviews, about how many child care providers of, whatever stripe or level they're at are in Aurora.
Oh, I don't have the exact number, but there's
several, right?
Yeah, quite a bit. Yes,
Yeah.
It must be more than 70, 100. It's big. It's
Right.
big.
Right. And for those people who have those dreams about childcare, some of them are home based.
Yes.
And their idea is to get into a center or open up a center. And this is perfect for them to learn how to do many things like licensing and other things, right?
Yes, this is like the first step. We also have Elevate.
Okay.
Not all home daycares necessarily want to grow to a center. Some people are fine with the amount of kids they can have, depending on the license they have.
Gotcha.
They can have different amount of kids. They can be a home daycare that it's only one person taking care of a few kids, and they might be fine that way. Mm-hmm. There are other owners that they want to grow, and they normally grow to a group, for example, where it's still a home daycare center where they can have kids in the morning, in the afternoon. So that's what the things that they have to decide, and we are going to help them decide in this cohort, and we are going to help them have a business plan of how they want to move, a vision of where they want to go. Of course, there are many that, yes, after a certain, when they get to the maximum level based on the size of the house, the number of employees, there's a limit of number of kids they can have. And then from there, if they want to continue to grow, they need to move to a center. And we can help them with that as well. And then we have Elevate, that is another cohort we will have later on in the year. Mm-hmm. But this Rise Up is kind of the foundation.
Okay.
Understand what type of kids and families you want to have in your daycare, what kind of programs, and be prepared with a business plan and a vision and a mission for your daycare.
It always behooves one to have a plan. I once heard it said that a goal without a plan is just a wish.
Yes.
So having a plan is very important. But also the WBDC can help plan you in your business or for whatever you're trying to do in many different things, not just with the Rise Up cohort that we're talking about today, in many different areas. And before we end, we will share the information, your contact information, too, how folks can get in touch with you.
Yes.
The time is 9:10 a.m. I know what you're thinking. Curtis, it's usually like 8 to 9. No. 9 to 10. Karina Suarez-Darden, good morning. Jennifer Ryan Mayton, Robert Stursky, good morning to you, dear sir. Javier Burgos, don't forget, Java Plus, 1677 Montgomery Road in Aurora is your place to go for good coffee. Abrego Luis, good morning to you. Corinne Pirog, good morning to you as well. And so good to see all of you great folks. Okay, now we do have the flyer. We're going to put that up on the screen. Alex, if we could, please. We got the flyer for the cohort, so there it is right there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you guys are going to see this shared on our Facebook page, also our LinkedIn and our Instagram. Bottom right-hand corner is the QR code for you to scan, and also bottom left-hand corner is the application link as well. The deadline for applying, is February 6th of this year, so please go ahead and apply. Once again, this will run from February 8th to March 14th. So when you see that flyer, we encourage you to go ahead, sign up, and apply for this.
I forgot to say that this one is in English and it's virtual. So
okay.
Another thing is that we are going to have some great presenters. We are going to have Noelle Serna, that people in Aurora are familiar with her.
Noelle Serna, don't tell me. She is a paralegal.
Yes.
That's right. Yep.
Yes.
We interviewed her.
Yes.
Yeah, she's cool. Noelle
Yes.
Serna. Yeah, she's awesome. Great people.
Yes.
Her family owned a restaurant where I grew up at.
Ah, yes. So she will be there talking about legal. That this is very important for people to understand how to do contracts for the parents, to do contracts for the employees, to decide what legal entity you want to be.
Right.
All these things are very important. and she will be there.
Yeah,
to
Noelle
talk
Cerner,
about
she's a great person. Yeah,
She is.
she's really cool people. Her parents, boy, that brings back good memories too. It brings back really good memories. So there's a restaurant where I grew up at, man, it was so good. Her family took that restaurant over and brought it back to really good life. So shout out to the Cerner family out there in Harvey, Illinois. Okay, 9:13 is the time. So a couple more things that you guys can expect from this great 6-week virtual business cohort. Program participants, as Minerva just said, will follow a step-by-step process to develop a business and marketing plan, policies and procedures for their childcare business, a parent handbook, we can always use those, and a sound understanding of business financials. What's in the parent handbook? How to keep your kids
They have
sleep?
the participants are going to do their own
Okay.
parent handbook, but yes, it has everything from at what time they need to bring the kids pick up.
Okay.
If they don't pick up at time, what happens?
Right.
What they expect from the parents, because it's very important in the education of the kids that there's a collaboration between the parents and the daycare.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It makes it, I've wondered on the outside looking in at this, I've always wondered like how, because, my son's 11 now. So when I had to use daycare for folks or they were friends who own daycare business, shout out to Grandma Bear's Daycare here in Aurora. I've always wondered like what it could be like being the daycare provider and also dealing with so many different parents, personalities, right? The kids
Yes.
are like their parents, they're different, you know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
like what is that like and how to navigate through that? But I guess that's the benefit of emotional intelligence also with other things, right?
Correct. That's what I was going to say. Is how do you handle challenges in situations or very good situations, exciting situations, right?
Right.
You need to think before act, right?
Right, exactly.
And you need to know yourself first and know what are you capable of doing, and then whatever you think are weakness, then work
Right.
to be better.
Now, are you leading the cohort?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm leading it together with my colleague Yvonne Villalpando.
Okay.
We are
Villalpando.
a group of 4,
Okay.
so
Is Kristen going to be involved as well?
she's
Shout out to Kristen Gehrig, who is
Yes.
also a member of the Women's Business Development Team, Center, rather, and awesome people. Now, so you ladies are coming back on. You guys come on to the show once a month to talk, well, more times than that, but to talk to us about things going on. Of these virtual business cohorts that have been going on, can you tell us some of the success stories?
yes. Well,
Perhaps without giving away their information or, the names or anything like that, but just, I guess, like how things have gone for some of the businesses or individuals.
we have many success stories, and so in terms of childcare, what we see is that they start realizing that they understand their numbers, or they need to find a better way of manage their business, or they get ideas from others. The connections between the participants is a big thing, because they start becoming a community as they go through 6 weeks together, and they listen that it's very common to have the same challenges,
Right.
and listen how others have solved them or new ideas. That is one of the big things of our cohorts, the networking, the connections.
Right.
So finances is always a big piece. They don't realize the importance of understanding that number. So, or maybe they realize, but now they know an easy way of doing it.
Right.
Another big thing is that they realize they need to have a team in place, that they cannot do things by themselves all the time. So those are big things that they always get out from our cohorts.
Seems like maybe sometimes the average business owner doesn't know that or even think about that when they start.
Yes,
You
or
know.
they are afraid to spend money,
Right.
and they prefer to don't hire an accountant, and don't hire a marketing person, because they don't want to spend the money, but they have never forecasted or put it in a budget and
Right.
see maybe I can afford that, because if you don't use it, mistakes can be very expensive later.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's always better to do things right. Do things right the first time. You know, take that step or whatever the case may be, even if it seems elongated. Take the step now to do it right, as opposed to coming back and trying to fix it.
Yeah.
As we mentioned when we started this conversation, you could always be doing better. Part of that starts by doing it right the first time.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, true. I mean, there is sometimes you got to learn.
Yes.
And those mistakes will fuel you and let you see what you need to be doing and get better. So mistakes are learning tools.
Yeah, they gain a lot of confidence, self-confidence on these cohorts. We teach them how to pitch their business. That is very important to be able to say to the parents that are searching for where do you bring your kids, that they understand clearly the benefits of their home daycare.
Sure, right.
Of that center, of that home childcare center. It's very important they can say in a few words what are the benefits.
Now to say in a few words what are the benefits, is there a time delivery? Do you guys keep them do you make them go to 30 seconds or 60 seconds, or what is your idea of the perfect time length for pitching? Can we do a mock pitch?
Yeah, normally we do it in 30 seconds, but the pitch depends. That's like the elevator pitch, right? The pitch depends who are you talking to and how you have to think how much time do you think that person has.
Right.
Because it's different if you are in an elevator, like that's the whole thinking is like you have to impress somebody from when you go from one floor to the next one.
You got from 10 to 8,
yes,
right?
Yes. So not necessarily, and that's a good way to prepare and think, what are you bringing to the table,
right,
and why is important for that person that is going to listen what you are saying.
Right.
And then if you engage them, then you can speak for an hour if they have the time, right? But it's important that in 30 seconds they can say who they are, what's the value they provide, who are they providing that value, and why it's relevant for that person in front of them.
Absolutely, absolutely. You guys should practice that. Practice it at home if you got a business. Tell me about your business. I can tell you about a lot of businesses in 2 floors going in the elevator. I do it a lot here. You know, hey, what's your name, man? Curtis. Where are you from? The Neighbor Project. You know, the Neighbor Project is a HUD-approved housing agency here to help assist the families in Aurora and uplift households through positive incomes. Yeah. Bing! The door opens up and then you just get off, you know.
And then you sign the contract.
Absolutely. Take me out to lunch. All right, so 9:20 is the time. Good morning to Carmen Ramirez, Gabriela Garcia. Good morning to you. Heather and Matt Rainey, our dear friends, Rent-A-Chef, great people. Ruby Sue, Jen Mendoza, she says hello, Minerva.
Hello, Jen.
And Juan Cayetano and the Wood Crafters. Shout out to the Cayetano family. God bless you all. Wishing you a successful week out there. Well, thank you very much. Alicia Hahn, our friend of Birth to 5, Illinois, says, finding a community or creating one, if there isn't one there, is vital for anyone to thrive. And I agree with that. Nancy Ortiz, good morning to you. Okay, now where's your office located? And do you take walk-ins, or what's the best way to get in contact with yourself? And what is your contact information?
Yes, the office is in 43 West Galena Boulevard. Okay. In Aurora, Illinois. My phone number, I never remember, so it's 630-246-7831.
Okay.
I need to look it in my cell phone.
It's all right. It's better than not having a number.
Yes, the way to do appointments is if you're a new client, you need to fill out an intake form, and then you can find a spot in our calendars. So you can send me your email, a text, or call me, and then we can set up an appointment.
Okay. Now, if we could, Alex, we put the flyer back up there one more time. I want to detail to these wonderful people what they can expect coming up and some of the other important details. So now, who should attend? Aspiring child care entrepreneurs, licensed home providers under 2 years in business, and child care center providers with under 2 years in business as well. So the upcoming winter 2024 cohort is going to start February 8th It will go into March 24th. Every Thursday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And the application deadline is February 6th, which is coming up. Bottom right-hand corner of your screen is the QR code to scan. Also, the website is www.wbdc.org. Bottom left-hand corner of this fantastic flyer is Learn More and Apply Today. The direct link to sign up and apply is right there. The deadline for applications, once again, is February 6th. 6-week virtual business cohort. Rise up and start your childcare business. The time is 9:23 a.m. You are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. We have a brand new time for you guys, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. You know what's crazy? So many of y'all for so long were like, Curtis, I would watch the show if it was a little bit later. Now I see you in here. Good morning to you, Josie Mendoza Geller, Gloria Gerardo. Good morning to you, and Luz Elena Brambilla Guerrero as well. So, with a little bit of time that we have to go here, when the Rise Up Child Care is the starting point.
Yes.
Elevate is the next level.
Yes.
Is that how the best way to look at it?
Yes.
Now we're detailing Rise Up. Can we preview when the next Elevate is coming? Do we know that already? Or, I mean, you're coming back to talk to us about it, but when will Elevate start, and how does Elevate assist with this?
Elevate, I think, is in April or May. I don't have it right in top of here, but I will send it to you. But it's coming up as well.
Because you've been on the show to detail about the Elevate cohort as well. And Elevate cohort has always been fantastic. So many of our friends seem to get a lot out of it as well.
Yes.
So we will be happy to share that when the time is right.
Yeah, Elevate is the one that we focus on. You're ready to grow. Mm-hmm. What do you need to grow to the next level?
Right.
And that is normally for the child cares, home daycares. It's moving from a house to a center. So that's the focus on that one.
Okay. Now, I noticed that licensed home providers with under 2 years in business are encouraged to attend. Does the WBDC help in the licensing procedure?
We don't help in the licensing procedure.
That's state of Illinois?
Yes.
Sure, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But we tell them what are the steps they need to do.
Okay. All right.
The good thing about our cohorts is that they get their credits. When you are a home daycare or a child care center, you need education credits with gateways. So they can provide us their gateway number, and they will get their credits.
Gateway?
Yes.
What's Gateway?
It's an organization that tracks the education that the child care providers need to have.
Oh, okay. All right. Wonderful, wonderful. This dynamic program offers comprehensive training on key business topics, personalized one-on-one advising, and graduates are eligible to fulfill a significant portion of their annual accreditation requirements.
That's it.
So
the credits.
Yeah, this is, hold on, let me take a look at this. Oh, yeah, this is it. This is the one. This is it right here. I encourage you guys to sign up for this 6-week virtual business cohort with Rise Up, or rather called Rise Up, Start Your Child Care Business, presented by the WBDC, the Women's Business Development Center, WBDC.org. As mentioned, 43 West Galena is where the main office for the WBDC is at. That is in the parking deck along the grotto, right across the street from Wabanzi Community College.
Correct.
Wabanzi Community College. How long have you been with the WBDC?
3 years.
3 years.
Yes.
And in that time, what would you say has been your biggest achievement or success? What makes you happy? What's been the feather in your cap?
I think what makes me very, very happy is the partnerships we have with different organizations that have similar missions and goals, that is helping the community grow, like you, like the city of Aurora.
Oh yeah, we locked in, that's for sure.
Like all the 3 chambers of commerce, like Invest Aurora. So those relationships, the way we have been building and working in partnership, working together to help entrepreneurs, to see my clients succeed, that makes me happy every day.
Good.
Every day I learn something new, And I think my biggest achievement is seeing my clients grow.
Good, good. We are proud supporters of the Women's Business Development Center, so we're happy to have them on the show and also share their information all the time. Once again, WBDC.org is the website that you need. We encourage you guys to sign up. Once again, the application deadline is February 6th. When you see the flyer posted, we encourage you to share. Right now, we're going to go to a commercial. We want to thank Minerva very much for her time and get ready to see more of Minerva and the WBDC here on our show in many different forms and many different programs and initiatives. Our next guest will be coming up after this short break. We'll see you on the flip side.
Imagine what's possible when a city makes an unprecedented investment, a commitment that reshapes a city's landscape forever, that equalizes economic opportunity, elevates education for all, empowers businesses, inspires collaboration between institutions, improves public services, and enhances the lives of every resident. Now, imagine that city is ours. We know it's possible because other cities have done it. Places like Longmont, Colorado, a community that leveraged its investment in municipal electricity and upgraded its substations to create a 17-mile fiber loop, delivering critical connectivity to the city's institutions, organizations, and small businesses, achieving an incredibly high adoption rate. And in Pharr, Texas, a border town of 80,000, voted the least connected city in America, invested in 700 miles of fiber, delivering broadband managed services that are enriching residents' lives. Cities, towns, and regions are stepping up all over America. There is no question that Aurora can and deserves to be America's next great smart city. But it's up to us. We have a responsibility we can't ignore to see everyone living in our city, regardless of economic status, having broadband services that are simple, efficient, safe, and powerful. Imagine children having safe internet access anywhere, never needing to connect outside of a fast food restaurant. Imagine every building in every neighborhood and retail outlet, new and old, modernized, intuitive, secure. Imagine exciting subscribers with the ultimate broadband experience and giving parents control over all of it. Imagine deploying cyberbullying protection that notifies parents throughout Aurora that their kids are being bullied and providing resources to protect them. Imagine a city with first responders seamlessly connected and with safer public spaces. Can you see this smart city? Can you see our future? We do. Aurora is ready for world-class connection that serves our residents, that helps businesses grow and unifies our community. Let's take this opportunity to give all of our residents, businesses, and community organizations the advantages that come with unrivaled broadband infrastructure and services. Let's come together and deliver a world where digital equity creates a city that is smarter, safer, and sustainable for generations to come.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The time is 9:32 a.m. and you are back watching and listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. Our first guest was Minerva Calatayud, once again, of the Women's Business Development Center, talking about the virtual child care cohort called Rise Up. Our second guest today is Brenda Rodgers, realtor and also candidate for Kane County Recorder. How you feeling today?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, good to see you.
You too.
This is Brenda's second time on the show, so this is a rehash, right?
Yes.
We're back again. So before we get started, congratulations to you and Happy New Year. My first time seeing you all year.
You
Okay.
too.
Yep.
Thank
yep.
you.
So you are you're currently running for Kane County Recorder.
Yes, that's correct.
For those who are unfamiliar, what are the duties of recorder?
The recorder's office is the keeper of land records in the county. So, plat of survey, when people buy and sell a property, it records the deed, make sure that it's correct. And for our military veterans, it keeps a copy of their DD 214s if they file in the county. So it's a keeper of land records.
Okay. Now, when it comes to that keeping of records and your background as a realtor, tell us how that ties in and what makes you a strong candidate.
Well, as you mentioned, I'm a realtor. I've been a realtor for a little bit over 30 years. So I think that places me in a strong position for the position. I've worked with developers. I've been a developer. I have worked with people who have bought single-family homes, empty nesters, first-time buyers. I cover the gamut, commercial. So I'm experienced. I know the terminology. And I think that also is a key reason for me to be in that office because of my experience and my background.
What makes a strong recorder?
I think someone who has experience.
Okay.
Not just in the field, but also life experience. As I said to you before when I was here, during 2008, I owned 3 homes, and I was able to, when the market crashed, I was able to sell 1 home, and I lost 1 in a foreclosure. Credit went to kapoops. So I think being an elected official for me and the people that I've talked to, and I've talked to many people up and down the Fox Valley area and the Chicagoland area, I think an elected official should be someone with experience through trials and tribulations and testimonies. I mean, just as the Bible, God uses those who have been through things, who can be a testimony of His goodness. So I think an elected official also should be someone who has a testimony, who can relate to people. Kane County at that time, when the market crashed, we were the second highest county for foreclosures. So I can empathize, and I know what people are going through because I've been through it. When COVID happened, I had clients calling me who were living in hotels. Kane County had hotels full with people who could not afford the rent. So not only do I have experience in what so many people have experienced, again, business owners lost businesses in 2008, but I'm also out there talking to people. So I am firsthand on the grounds, knowing what's going on in the community. And I think that's what also makes someone a great representative of their constituents or of the people that will be voting for them. Is someone who's determined, who does the work, and who's out there talking to everyone. I communicate with business owners. I communicate with first-time buyers. I communicate with those who are less fortunate, who are homeless. And with my job and my willingness to help people, I'm always talking to people, trying to find out what their needs are.
You've been doing the canvassing and the door knocking.
Yes, correct.
When you do knock on those doors, do you find that folks know what the Kane County Recorder does? That there is a Kane County Recorder? That do you find that people are familiar with the position, or are they new to it?
This is my 3rd time running for this position.
Okay.
I don't believe in giving up. So that's why I'm running a 3rd time, and I think I'm going to be a great recorder.
No, we don't give up.
Yeah,
no.
We don't give up.
We just haven't won yet.
Yes. So, but as I knock on doors each time, a lot of people, I would say, probably 8 to 9 out of 10 are not familiar with the recorder's office. They're not familiar with the duties of the recorder.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I want to do is bring awareness to the position. Some people think it's not important, but I think as an elected official, it is our duty to make sure that the public knows what their elected officials are doing and what the duties are. And I campaigned on that before, and I'm campaigning on that again to bring awareness to the position, especially to our seniors and our military veterans, but also include everyone.
Right. Now, time is 9:37. Mariah Eliza Ortiz, good morning to you. Danny Calderon says kids are in school, nice and quiet, perfect time. Thank you very much. He's ready to go. Now, in the running for recorder, as you mentioned, this is your third time running.
Third time running.
What are the lessons that have been learned with each run?
Well, I can honestly say that the things that I ran on, the current recorder has implemented those things after my race. The first time I ran on that, the website was totally outdated. It had been years, or the website looked as if it had been years that it had been updated. And after that race, she updated the website. The second time I ran on the lack of diversity in the office and the fact that the forms were not in Spanish. After the election, and she placed, and I should have said when I ran that the instructional forms were not in Spanish, they were only in English.
Sure.
So after the election, she put those forms in Spanish. And she's hired two people of color since then. So I know that she's hearing what I'm saying and that I am correct in what I'm doing because she's implemented those things.
Okay. The time is 9:39 a.m. You are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. We are here with Brenda Rodgers, candidate for Kane County Recorder. You're originally from Cleveland, Mississippi.
Cleveland, Mississippi, the Delta.
The Delta.
The Delta.
Are there any similarities whatsoever between the Cleveland, Mississippi experience and the Aurora, Kane County experience?
I think I was a kid when I was there, but it was a close-knit community. Everybody knew each other. My grandparents owned a cafe. My grandmother was very active in the civil rights movement. So everybody knew us and our family. And I think in Kane County, what I found in the communities in the various towns, it's a close-knit community. A lot of them are close-knit communities, and people know each other. People look out for each other. People help each other. So I think those are some of the similarities.
Good.
Yeah.
And then also you hold a bachelor's degree from Judson University, with a major in management and leadership.
Correct.
All right. Now, when did you become a realtor, and tell us about your journey as a realtor?
Well, I was a single parent. I have one daughter, and I wanted at that time I didn't have a degree, so I wanted a career that would allow me the opportunity to make a decent income for her and to send her to college and to be able to attend some of her school functions. So when I was in high school, I did a research paper on real estate, and I decided from there to go into real estate. So I got my license, and I think my daughter was a sophomore in high school when I got my license. And so she was younger than that, I'm sorry. So it allowed me to be able to do all those things to make a decent living for her, as well as attend some of her school functions. So let's see. So I did that. And what else did I do? And I've been doing it for a long time. My Judson, I went back to school after I put my daughter through school. I felt that it was important for me to have an education if I wanted to, and try to encourage my nieces and nephews to go to school.
Right.
So I wanted to be an example for them. So I was an adult that returned back to school many, many years later. And I haven't regretted it. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Now, when does voting start?
Early voting starts February 8th.
Okay.
And that is in Aurora and Geneva. Then countywide, early voting starts March 4th. And then election day is March 19th. Now, I'm asking everyone to please get out and vote for me, because I do have a primary. And if I do not make it through the primary, then I won't be on the ballot for November. the November election, which the president is on that ballot. And the president will be on this ballot, but he doesn't have, I don't believe he has a primary. So no, he doesn't. So yes.
Okay. All right. Now we've taken great pains to explain to folks voting and early voting, and to share the Kane County voting information when we find it, different initiatives, town halls, and whatnot. But I would like to hear from Brenda Rodgers for the folks. Explain the importance of voting.
Well, I mean, you always hear that it's our right to vote. You know, people died for that right, and that is all true. But I tell individuals, get to know the candidate who is on the ballot. Call them up, talk to them if you have some concerns. But it is very important for you to be able to voice your opinion and to know that the person that you are voting for is right for you.
Right.
So my views are, I've voted in every election. I'm a Democrat, a diehard Democrat. I believe in the party. I've helped many candidates get on the ballot and stay on the ballot. I don't know if I shared this with you before, but I was the first person to ever take Michelle Obama out to campaign for Barack when he ran for U.S. Senator.
Really?
Yes. And so I've been out there on the battlegrounds for the Democratic Party for decades.
Here's the thing. Now, I'm having a good moment right now, because this is one of the things I've always loved about interviewing people. You lit up. You lit up when you... Tell me about that experience.
Oh, wow. It was, Barack used to come to Elgin, and he came up, well, actually, I met him, Pastor Causey in Elgin. She asked me to go with her to an event in Chicago.
Okay.
So I said yes, and Barack was speaking. And that was the first time I heard him speak. So then the next day, a girlfriend of mine called me up and said, Brenda, I want you to go to this event with me in Elgin. And guess who was there? Barack. So he's like, I just saw you yesterday. And so, and so I said,
Get used to it, bro.
Yeah. So he came out to Elgin. He came out to Dundee a couple of times. And when it was coming closer to the election, I called up Brandon Johnson, who was the mayor of Chicago.
Okay, yeah, Chicago, yeah.
Well, actually, I called up Barack's, someone else that I knew, and then I called Brandon, and I said, we got to get Barack out here again, you know, because then he was getting name recognition.
Sure. And
he said, Brenda, he's not going to come. People are not coming to see him. And I said, okay. I said, well, let's get Michelle out. I said, you know, we'll do a girls thing. I said, I have a friend of mine who was the late Judge Robinson, Renee Robinson, out of Aurora. She was running for state's attorney. I said, I'll get her out, and we get Michelle out, and we'll do a woman's thing, and we'll go out and we'll campaign. And they said, we like that idea. So let us talk to her and see what she say. And so he got back to me, and he said she agreed. But they had been talking to her about campaigning for him, because, you know, she didn't want him to be in politics.
Yes.
Right.
So, she wrote that in her book.
Yes. So she came out. I took her to some churches. She came out the following Sunday. I took her to some churches. We went to go eat at a restaurant in Elgin, breakfast, and no one knew who she was except for Mr. and Mrs. O'Neill. They were the only two when I introduced her. They were like, oh. So then Renee brought her to Aurora and brought her to the churches after that. So yeah, so that was the experience. She's a very, very nice person, very down to earth, very sincere.
Right.
Yeah.
She grew up in Hyde Park.
Yes.
Which is a very down to earth place.
Yeah.
So now, so the time is 9:46 a.m. I did want to just double down on those dates, though. So February 8th is early voting in Aurora.
And Geneva.
Okay. And then February, what was the second date?
No, March 4th.
March 4th, yes, excuse me.
It's countywide early voting.
Early voting. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, time is 9:46 a.m. You are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. Our guest today is Brenda Rodgers, candidate for Kane County Recorder, and this is Brenda's second time on our show. Boy, the last time you were on the show was so long ago.
Yeah.
That was Gremlin Studio days.
Yes.
Gremlin Studio days.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when we... So I want to just read a little bit more from your bio. You've worked with business developers, residential buyers and sellers, commercial owners, renters, both residential and commercial as well. navigating those relationships, forging them, sustaining them, maintaining them, how has that been on an individual basis? Because it seems like that's something that would be getting stronger, and you would be required more of you as Kane County Recorder. So you have the bandwidth for it now. Are you ready for those extra strong relationships? And
Yes. Yeah, I've sat on many boards throughout my career. I've had some great mentors that have taught me some ropes. So yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Yeah. Now, when and if elected, how long is the position for?
It's 4 years.
4-year position.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Now, the process of running and things like that. Can you give people a sense of what's that like for the novice? Filing and the canvassing and everything like that.
Well, first of all, you have to file your petition. You have to knock on doors in order to get your petitions signed. Each position requires a certain number of signatures. This time around, we needed 450.
Okay.
And I personally, myself, knocked on over 1,200 doors. I turned in, I think, a little bit over almost 1,800 signatures.
Wow.
And knocked on over 1,200 doors. So, and then once you get your petitions signed and you get the number that you're happy with above the requirement, then you have to get them notarized. And your party, whether the Democratic Party has notaries, or you can go to a local currency exchange or your bank and get them notarized, or if you have a friend that's a notary, they can notarize them for you. Then you put a packet together. It has to be in a certain order. You put that together, and then you go and you stand in line and you file. I was there the first day, and I got there at 4:52 in the morning. I was the second person in the lot. There was a truck parked a little bit back, but he didn't file. So I was actually the first person in line, and I mean the first person in the parking lot and the first person in line.
Ooh.
It was a cold morning.
Squared away.
Yes,
Ready. I love it.
Ready. Yes. And then after that, you start knocking on doors again. To let people know that you made it on the ballot, reaching out to family and friends. And then you just continue to door knock and meet people and tell them your qualifications and tell them why you think that you should be the person that they elect. And you continue that until Election Day.
All right. Time is 9:50. Is there enough youth participation in politics?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And I'm not sure why there isn't, but I don't think there is enough.
What can we do to boost that?
Well, we can reach out to our youth, and then when we reach out to them, we can also be welcoming to them. And when I say reach out, you can go to community colleges. You can see what other organizations they belong to, and reaching out to them that way and telling them the importance of voting.
Right.
And trying to encourage them to vote.
In your opinion, what is Aurora's biggest, Kane County's biggest strength?
I think our diversity in our people. I've often heard people. I substitute teach sometimes, not often. But one of the things that I hear teachers say, and I see it in the classroom, is the diversity. You want to grow up your kids to grow up in a society where it's preparing them for the rest of their lives.
Sure.
And so I think our diversity is our one of our strongest points, because they're going to, as they get older and go into the workforce, they're going to be surrounded by different people.
Right.
And faced with different cultural differences. And if they learn that at a young age, that prepares them
Right.
for their future. So
I agree. No, that's strong words, positive words. I think the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I want to, is it Mr. Cunningham with Kane County?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After voting, I read what he says, and he's consistently mentioned how dismal some of the participation is and things like that when it comes to voting. And at the same time, we have a a young population that is motivated by the issues. So it is interesting to see the care about the issues, but yet the lack of participation. And myself and and other people are always constantly wondering like how we can thread that needle and get those young people engaged. And that's also why I asked about, do people know about Recorder? Because I'm a firm believer that the more you get exposed to something and someone, then you'll become familiar with it and everything like that too. Right. So I do think that's important. Right. Time is 9:52 a.m. So let's play a little game here.
Can I add something real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Sure.
One of the things that I did when I was on Elgin City Council is I was the first council member to go out. I call them little coffees. And I would go out and I would talk to the residents. And I was the first one to ever do that wasn't up for election. And when I called the different neighborhood groups to schedule the appointments, they're like, wow, when are you up? Right. And I'm like, 2-3 years. And they're like, no one else has ever come to us and talked to us when they weren't running. So I did it then, and I will do it once I'm elected. I really believe that an elected official should give their all and make people aware of what they're doing. Right. And I believe that in anything that you do, even though the recorder's office, it's not the state statute to go out and make people aware of the duties, but I believe that as an elected official, it is our duty to go above and beyond for the people.
State statute being something that's mandated, mandating you to do that.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
Do you have any upcoming events?
I have a fundraiser. Okay. I have a fundraiser February 8th. It's in Elgin, 488 Lincoln Avenue, Unit B, and it's from 5:30 until 7. Okay. And I do have 2 forums, but don't ask me the dates. I think one is February 29th, okay, and that's in Batavia, I believe, and the other one is the Elgin Forum, and the date is slipping me right now. So yeah,
it's all good. Yeah. Now you were a member of Elgin City Council.
Correct.
What was that experience like?
Oh wow, it was rewarding. I remember when I ran, a young lady, she gave me $5. And she said to me, this is all I have, but I believe in you. And that, it stayed with me because I still remember the lady who gave that to me. You know, it was like in the Bible when you give what all you have, or everything that you have. It wasn't, I mean, all of the donations mattered, but she gave me almost her very last. She said, this is all that I have. So that experience was very rewarding for me because I did a lot of great things when I was on Elgin City Council. We were in the middle of letting a big box store leave our community. And I went out and I talked to the store manager to find out what the tax revenue that they were bringing in currently to the city and what was the projected. What the number of employees that they currently hired that lived in Elgin, what were the projected, and the amount of money, scholarships they gave to not-for-profits and scholarships they gave to kids who worked there. Once I gave my figures, and I said to my colleagues, I said, we can't control where people shop, but what we can control is whether or not we keep these tax dollars in our community.
True.
And my colleague, Bob Gilliam, he said, we're going to table this for 2 weeks. And he came back and we passed it and allowed them to move. So I'm one of those who really believe in doing my homework and doing what the community wants and what's best for the community. So I tell people our efforts kept a big box store in our community, and we're still generating jobs because since then we have a lot of businesses in that corridor and people are employed from our community. Yeah. So I think that's what an elected official should do is their work should still continue in the community long after they're gone. We built 2 fire stations, and I was instrumental. I would call the residents when we got a little sleepy about building that fire station because we needed it. I said, you know what? If you guys don't put the heat on us, we're not going to build that station. Right. And so we got both of those fire stations built during the time that I was on city council. I brought back the Summer Youth Job Program for kids whose parents were below income, made sure AID, Adult Individual Development, received refurbished computers, as well as a daycare center that was for low-income mothers. So did a lot of wonderful things for the community. When during that time, the market was starting to crash and we were doing a lot of developing, I went out and I talked to the sales agents to find out why their properties wasn't selling at the rate that we thought they should, and I relayed that information to my colleagues. So I have always been someone that again goes above and beyond to in anything that I do.
And
but
you're also the first person in line when it comes to being on time.
Yeah.
Very well said. Time is 9:58 a.m. So I want to thank Brenda for coming back on the show.
Thank you.
It's very much appreciated.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's very good to see you again. Now, how can people find you online?
Well, I'm on Facebook, elect Brenda Rodgers, Kane County Recorder. My website should be up this evening, and you can always call me.
Okay.
My phone number is 847-630-8614. If you have any questions about my background, if you want to help door knock or a phone bank, please reach out to me.
All right. So thank you guys very much for watching. This has been a fantastic episode of Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. The time is 9:58 a.m. Once again, we are at a brand new time here at ACTV Studios, from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Your favorite morning show is here for you always. Don't forget to check us out on Twitch, YouTube as well, and the ACTV website, which you can go to on the city's website as well. We will return on Wednesday with another fantastic episode for you guys. And do not forget that our sister program, Buenos Dias Aurora, airs tomorrow and Thursday. Once again, I want to say thank you very much to Brenda Rodgers, candidate for Kane County Recorder. I encourage you, as always, to vote, take part in your community, and be part of the change that we all want to see. Be blessed. Take care of yourself and each other.
Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.